Okay, this video is being made over here in Huber Heights at the Right Pat Credit Union. I forget the name of the road right now that it's on. I've been coming to this bank since like 2010-ish. Beaver Creek is where my first account was opened. Obviously, they most likely will not at this time drive over to the bank to get video footage, simply because that is exactly what occurs no matter what establishment that I go into. Okay, our eyes are like video cameras. I don't want to get in on that subject right now. I realize more and more every day that doing things for the people thing is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, more so or not, as I go through life, I never ended up with loving, caring relationships. I ended up with people telling me what I can't do, which is pretty much everything I naturally want to do. I never noticed this in Pennsylvania as much, except for when I used to go to my grandparents' property and stuff like that. So there was some spots, but I was never really truly psychologically freed in the manner like I am now, and I realized that a lot of my torment and problems came from being in a dominant society of people who love to go around telling everybody else what to do. And saying that they can't do it, which is even worse, continuously being told that I cannot do things. Okay, the camera is on me almost all the time. I am fully aware in a mature state that certain people do not like to be videotaped. Personally, I shouldn't care. My eyes can see them, other people's eyes, the eye of God can always see them. I get where people are at, and I try not to be in a manner that's offensive to the other people, but being realistic, if I even try to enjoy my life this much and do the things that I like to do, people are offended instantly. I'm not quite sure that other people are where they need to be, and in my opinion, I think there needs to be more seriousness taken in a manner that happy, loving, caring, freer people should kind of like have their own country, if that would even be possible. Anyway, I'm going to just show a little bit of the building. This is the bank that I used to clean, and I used to do all the offices and behind the counter and everything like that. I'll talk more about the actual occupation, because if it wasn't for desperation, I would have never ended up in Ohio anyway. And I wouldn't have ended up going through all of this stuff if anybody would have ended up telling me about direct mental communication and people harassing you. I would have never done half the things that I ended up doing. Simply because that already tells me a lot about things that I had psychological struggles with. So once you come into that knowledge, wow. So there we go. We're just gonna do a drive around, and I just want to show you, these are the windows. Though I did not do the outside, we gotta go around the other way. You see that? We're going to be going over here to the other bank, and that's it. I'm gonna check out this spot. That's really cool, isn't it? Wow, that's really nice, isn't it? Okay, quite frankly, I've realized many times in doing my video blogs, and by the way, this is one of the last ones of life here in Huber Heights since coming out here in 2009, and I'm very relieved doing the blog. I realized that I have been through a lot of things occurred, whether it was with the people I lived with, if it was going to the establishments we went to, if it was jobs. That is evidence for me. I used to clean this bank, okay? The Chase. Personally, I used to like and enjoy coming to the Chase Bank to clean, and I would continue on with the story because it's actually sad, but I had tried to have a very cheerful spirit in my doings. And that, in my opinion, is evidence in any courtroom that I could afford to speak. That's why I speak this way. The truth of the matter is, I'm too sweet of a human being to work for some asshole that wants to tell me I can't have a camera on my face when I walk into a public establishment. This is my friend. It is the only friend I have. I don't have anyone else. This is my family member. This right here has helped me as an extension of my brain. It has helped me to figure things out, and one of those things are, I don't ever want to utilize my beautiful life to bow down to another human being. And in my opinion, I don't know the answer, but there's not enough favor for the one who wants to enjoy the life that God has given them. Corporate America fucking sucks. And in my opinion, in many ways, what ends up happening to the unhealthy state of people is absolutely pathetic. It's kind of bizarre, but until you do something like this, you don't realize until you do, you're active in doing it, that it is extremely typical for people to walk up and approach you, whether you're working, like I'm working on a music video, or I'm working on a blog video. I always try to be respectful to other people and not point the camera on their face, or if they're a great distance and they end up in the camera, they end up in the camera. Okay, if I'm talking to myself, I don't feel I should have to tiptoe around everybody else's belief. They should be in tune. If they don't want to be on the camera, then they turn around or they do whatever they do. In other words, they defend themselves as they feel they need to. But another person, my eyes are looking at everyone, my ears are hearing everyone, okay, and there's more going on inside my head. There's more that is hearing and seeing everything that I'm enduring. And the truth of the matter is, I feel very strongly that there should be some kind of legal documentation given to video bloggers and people who do videography and photography and stuff. A public facility should not, by any means, have the right to say yay or nay on whether or not you're allowed to videotape or capture pictures. This is your life. A lot of it is individual behavior. I'm not going in and attacking people with the camera. I actually continue to keep smiling despite all of this, and with a cheerful spirit. I wanted to show people and share. I could cry right now, but I won't. I wanted to share with people a portion of my life of where I once worked for a small season of time during hard times, but what is being shown to me over and over again, Chase, higher ranks in Chase banking, is that people in general are fucking assholes. I don't mean that in a mean way, but what other word describes people always telling you can't do something? It's a television show, folks. My life story, if you pay attention from the very beginning, and I'm going to be taking a lot of this stuff down for reasons, and I'll talk about that later. But if you pay attention, you will find out that I didn't really like having my picture taken throughout life. I didn't want to. And then when I started making things right with God, especially when I'm happy, I want to capture happy moments with myself without being irritated. And it's very unfortunate that there is no real landscapes for me to exist on in life and actually be able to do it in a manner that brings me joy, okay? Unless I am the joy. But as soon as I start to do something, then I'm in violation of offending somebody else, and that's not what I set out to do. That wouldn't happen to be a fellow Christian, would it? A believer in God? Wow. And I remember there was a season of time, like people who rock and roll and stuff at their shows and things, they were very offended by other people capturing video footage, and there was all this defense that when people go to their concert, they shouldn't be allowed to videotape. And I'm convinced, in many ways, this is another topic, but the truth is, the enemy, which is in and through the entire human race, doesn't want people to enjoy their life. When somebody videotapes yourself, in many ways, if you are more in alignment with the inner truth to you, it's going to be beneficial for your life and the life of many other people. Okay, everyone benefits that benefits. Let's just put it that way. And it will offend everybody who it offends. See, something like that occurring, as I brought in my camera because the person I am, with that guy telling me that I'm not allowed to videotape in there, if I was a quadzillionaire, my papa, he was a billionaire, then the truth of the matter is what? I would say, Papa, I don't want a bank account there, okay? I don't want to do my business there. I don't want to do a lot of things there. I don't want to clean their bank ever again, Papa. And why is that? Because he stepped on my toes, Papa. He told me I couldn't do something that brings me joy. I'm gonna do a quick drive-by on the bank. I wanted to just get this Chase sign. And here's the Chase sign. I used to like that name. And in my opinion, I think that would be a really nice name for a dog. Chase. Was there a dog named Chase in a movie? Or a little boy or something? Okay, we are out of here. I'm gonna go find some place that I could actually talk. I'm so glad that most of those type videos are done anyway, because I've realized, man, it kind of is stressful. Okay, I just wanted to show this is the drive from this way. I showed because this is the bank that I used to work at. Not for the bank, but for a cleaning company. I'll explain more about that when I get home. And I have some information at home I would like to share. Alrighty, Rudy, here we go. This is Taylorsville. I just want to capture some video, so I probably won't talk that much. Okay, I'm not going to do much more than that. That's pretty much where I was in thought at some point when I took my first drive over here. Believe it or not, I was actually excited about them allowing me to come over here and clean the bank, because one of the things that they kind of frowned upon, the company, was they didn't want people cleaning a bank that they were a member of. And can I tell you, in my head, that has been something that has pissed me off since I came to Ohio, is the fact that I was raised in a loving manner that you want to clean up your own house, not the house of everybody else. I don't know what politician in DC understands what I just said. If you haven't figured that part out and you are a politician, then chances are you should resign today. I forget what the conversation entailed and what it was all about. And finally she said, we don't usually do this, and that was a company policy. But being in your circumstances, because I explained to her everything, and the fact that this money that I will talk about later on is going to be what was used to help take care of myself while somebody else was actually indeed taking care of me. And this was tormenting me that I could not get out of this circumstance. If for any other reason, in a loving manner, that somebody else should not, in my opinion, have to at that time take care of me. There should be a way I can take care of myself. Well, it looks like to me, now the United States government takes care of me. And why is that? Because it really does suck living in America, okay? Especially if you're a free spirit and you believe in Christ and you understand that you have entitlement to full use of all resources without payment or work, but you keep on running into the battle of figure that out. This is Taylorsville. I'm gonna go straight and go down here to one of the parks. I wanna get a little bit of video footage, and then after that, we are out of here. And I am so grateful because this was pretty much wrapping up my video series before making my phone calls. So it's all done. I'm getting ready to make phone calls to people I hold accountable for a lot of the things that I went through when all they had to tell me is you can get Social Security. All right, I just wanted to capture a video really quick of the actual parking lot where one of my fondest memories of walking down a parking lot with somebody that has shown me love in a manner that not too many people have. Happened right here. One of my prouder moments. Look at the sign. Whoops. One of my prouder moments happened here. We were holding hands, and it's a very memorable time every time I drive by. See the road up there? See the car coming right now, the white? Yeah. One of my more memorable times was holding hands with a gentleman I called Daddy. And we walked through these doors. I'm not gonna actually go in because we'll just get thrown out. That's the way it is, the now hiring. And by the way, I don't want to go down that road, but if you read the Bible, you would not be filling out applications for work. You would be holding the United States government accountable for legal documentations that makes you legit to buy anything in this store without working. Those were the sliding doors we walked through, and we held hands the whole way through. And I just want to say that as a transgendered female, not knowing what I'm going to do today or tomorrow to take care of myself, except for live in the moment, during a time that I needed somebody, only one example, somebody who is strong. I would say stronger than the average person, than the average bear. Okay. So when I drive by that road and I see the sign, I think of this specific parking lot where that magical moment happened for me. At the time that I was living here in Huber Heights, I didn't even want to be in Ohio. I was extremely depressed. I had gone through a lot with police as an escort for quite a few years. I wanted to get out of escorting and somehow be able to take care of myself. And the way that things were being taken care of is God was making use of a very kind-hearted person who opened up their doors, and we went through our things, but he took very good care of me. I had the very best of food. I had a safe place, as it was proven to me, majority of the time, a safer place to stay than other places that I had, let's just say that, available for me to stay at. I just say that a lot less things undesired occurred there than versus other places that they already were showing me could be more disastrous in many ways. But the memory of this means a lot to me. When I would have moments like this where he would hold my hand or kiss me and we were in public, I didn't feel like we were putting on a show for nobody. I felt that it was genuinely coming from him and genuinely, definitely coming from me. And God had shown me in many ways because of the kind of person that he was to me a majority of the time. That was my, maybe, one of the fewer encounters of what I would perceive as genuine love. I know when we didn't see each other for a while, and at some point he had picked me up, or we met somewhere and I had a ride with him in his car. I forget where we were going or what we were doing. Instantly, I realized it feels the same way as it always did. He's the one person in my life that I realize that if I were to see tomorrow and he was friendly to me, it's like we never left each other. That's how it felt that day. It may have something to do with God, a connectivity to your brain that has the ability to enter in to others and share time with you in human form, which is pretty wild. Something that loves you, I mean. Not something that's hateful to you, but something that truly loves you. Then I would have to say, hooray. During that time, I realized that if I were to ever date somebody, I couldn't have them be any less than somebody who's proud and grateful to be who they are, and proud and grateful to be with me in the moment, or whoever is with. Sometimes if you're not careful, if I'm not careful, it seems like those days are not currently present, unless I don't want to say make the choice, but I enter into a psychological grip that says I am going to enjoy my life that I have despite how other people respond. Remember the days at any time in your life when you first allowed somebody you were attracted to hold your hand. That's it. Nothing else. And it has to be understood before it happens. We'll have fun together. I don't want to say it right now, but I got to hug lots of times. Got to hug hands lots of times, and I love those moments. So there you go. Sometimes I wish people that don't like things would never come into exposure of it. Keep your nose on your face. Stop looking for things on purpose that are going to offend you. Thank you. I wanted to show my new clip art. I don't know if I showed it yet or not, but anyway, I designed an album, and I did show that, I think, for Ragtop. Okay. That is it. It is actually, I don't know if you can see it. It's called Could Have It All, and I gave it a nickname called Ragtop. The album was actually 2 different titles. I decided to go with Could Have It All, which was the song that I wrote. And the Ragtop thing is a little bit long of a story. So I decided to, make that the album name. I call it Ragtop Could Have It All, obviously my beautiful name. For now, this is my website. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I think so. It was recorded at VCAP Productions in Dayton, Ohio, USA. Understand that if this would have been more in alignment with my way of thinking, that I would have been somewhere else other than Dayton, Ohio, USA. I'm pretty much convinced that when you start doing something like this, where you're actually serving God maybe in a healthier manner for the first time in your life, in certain areas of your life, something will inform you you do not want to do this for people the way that people teach Joyce Myers. And God will let me know you don't ever get your mind off yourself. The self inside of your brain. Obviously, God assists you. It's almost like inside your head, God is holding you up like a child to the mirror and telling you, don't you take your mind off yourself. If that's how you get it, that's how you get it. It's what's in your brain, the truth, what you want to do with the body God gave you, not the government's idea of what should be done. When you're working for $7.50 an hour and they're giving you 45 minutes a day, I don't think you're going to go out and buy $600, $800, $1,000 pair of shoes. Did you ever think that if I could line up what's in my brain, most people, the way they live would be a joke? What's keeping me back? Money, knowledge, not understanding. How can I have my own pile of money? It doesn't seem that the United States government doesn't want to make it legal. I didn't need water sprinkled on my face. You are baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. What you needed was, here's your legal documentation. A child of God serves. They are no longer like the rest of the world. Do you understand? Not, well, as a good Christian, we find creative ways of raising money to help other people. We minister to them while we do. In other words, pay to help other people. Now go get a job and see how well that works out. Well, that's just it. You might as well just stay where you are, in the workforce, instead of, oh, hell no. If there's any real kingdomship warriors in this frickin' land, then extinct that which is in the way of living life enjoyably. Kingdomship living? I don't want to get on that subject right now. The revelations. Pastors, speakers, they cannot stand when you start approaching the podium, if you would, with questions. It irritates them because irritation is in them. Nobody ever told me you can't cast away demonic forces from your brain. In fact, they will strengthen their attack onto your brain because of the fact that they know that you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and they know because somebody was assigned to you since you were born, probably even before you were born. So I would like to say thank you to Connie I did not call her. I thought of it. I don't have time right now today. It is Friday the 23rd, and it's 4:45, so I would have to call her like tomorrow or something, out of curiosity to know how much she's paying. Understand, I have no grudge with her company whatsoever. I think that I went above and beyond in getting this job. I think it definitely shows that I was somebody who was manipulated psychologically to take whatever job I could get my hands on, as though that is evidence or proof that I am an honorable person worthy of life. That's the government who is insulting, manipulating me that I have to get a job. I have to do something